Hi guys, it's Rachel. Welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, welcome. Today I will be doing a first impressions review on new bareMinerals products. If you're new here and you don't know, bareMinerals is one of my favorite brands. I used to work for them quite a few years ago and I have loved them ever since. They're such a wonderful company with great products. So I was really interested in this release, and let me just pull up prices and such because I'm not prepared. Okay, first of all, the powder. This is their original mineral veil in pressed form. Their mineral veil is a cult classic. I love it. I have a huge tub up there, and they came out with skin tone shades, so I think there's like 5 or 6 different skin tone shades, and they came out with a translucent one as well. Yeah, they came out with a lot of different colors of this. I opted to get the sheer light, which looks like this, and it retails for $29 for a pressed powder. Kind of pricey, but it is bareMinerals, and I will swatch the sheer light shade for you, but I don't think you'll really see anything on my skin. It's just a little lighter than my skin tone, and it feels really nice, but I do demo it and give my first impressions later on in the video, so keep watching for that. The eyeshadow palette, they came out with a variety of 3 of them. I chose the Sunlit palette, which these mini palettes retail for $32, and these are also the same packaging style as their holiday releases, where you can pull this out and recycle the whole component and just throw away this plastic bit that houses the shadows. So I think that's cool that they're continuing that. This has 2 mattes and 4 shimmers. Not a bad ratio, and what they say is, summon the sunlight with a flash of gold and bronze. These 6 richly pigmented eyeshadows enhance your eyes with a range of warm neutral hues. Use shades 1 through 3 for a soft sun warm look, and 4 through 6 for a rich shimmery bronzed eye. So I used every single color today to get this look here, and I definitely have some thoughts. But first, let's just swatch the shades. So I have Sandy, Sun Warmed, and Golden Hour right here. These are the first 3 shades, 1, 2, and 3. And then Bronzed, Antiqued, and Mahogany. And I got this one because I thought it looked like it would be the most colorful. It looked like it had a green in it, but that green, I don't know if you can tell, that green is really subdued and muted and not very green at all. Like, can you tell I have green on my eyes? Because I can't. I can't. They swatch nice, they're pigmented, they're smooth. I think it's a cute like color story. I just wish the green was a little more green, and wish maybe they had put a different shade aside from this shade that I have in like 50 million palettes. I don't need any more of this shade. But yeah, if you guys want to see how this palette goes on the eyes, how this powder goes on the face, then let's zoom in and get started. Alright, so I have my base on. I used the Wet n Wild Serum Primer and then the Pretty Fresh Foundation. I know how this performs. I know what it looks like with other powders. And then I did my Charlotte Tilbury Contour, and now I'm going in with my favorite concealer of all time, which is the Milani Conceal and Perfect. I just wanted to show you kind of the amount that I'm using before we go in with powder, in case you were curious. And I'm just taking my sponge and blending that out. All right, concealer is all blended, so I'm taking the Sheer Light Pressed Mineral Veil, and I'm just gonna do what I normally do, which is take a very dense brush, this guy right here, and I'll wipe it off so that there's no other powder on it. Looks fairly clean. I'm just going to swirl it in there, and it does have a little bit of kick up, and I'm just going to pat that underneath my eye where I place the concealer. And I am going to immediately take a fluffy brush, doesn't matter what brush, and sweep it away. I don't really like to bake too much because I'm a dry girl. And that did darken my under eyes just a smidge. I don't know if you can tell on camera, but it definitely took away some of the brightness. But here, let me get up close. It doesn't look too powdery or cakey, but let's do the whole face. I'm just gonna swirl a big fluffy brush in there till it's pretty coated, and then just swirl that all over my face. I don't powder my whole face very often, but I figured for the sake of testing this powder, we would do it. And let me look real close. It definitely looks like there's powder on my skin. It's definitely emphasizing the lines and like my little peach fuzzies, but it gives like a flawless finish from far away. But if you're like right up here, then you can see it. But so far, I would say it's pretty much behaving like my original mineral veil that I have in the loose form. And it's not really adding any extra coverage. And I'm going in with the bareMinerals Invisible Bronze, which I have significant pan on. And seeing how the powders blend over top of that setting powder. I say powder is blended on top pretty good. Now let's do blush. I'm taking the Kiss of Pink bronzer and just dusting that on my cheeks. The last thing I'm going to test with application with the powder is how creams go on top of it. I have used this particular highlight on top of powder before, including the Bare Pro powder and the mineral veil, and it has worked just fine without patching, moving products or anything. This is the bareMinerals Crystalline Glow Highlighter Stick in Prismatic Pearl, and I typically just draw it on and then blend it out with my sponge, and that normally doesn't mess anything up, so I want to see if this powder has any effect on that. Well, it's definitely not wanting to soften and blend quite as much. Yeah, I don't know if you guys can see, but it's definitely sticking in areas and blending in others. I don't know if you can see that, but it's not as seamless as it usually is when I use other powders. So that's something to keep in mind if you like to mix cream and powder. Yeah, that's not blending as good as I'm used to, even on top of the loose mineral veil that took a whole patch out of my nose. I don't know if you can see it, but there's this whole blank patch in my nose now. Maybe a little concealer will fix that. I kind of fixed it. Still a little bit of a hole in my nose. So basically what I'm getting from this experiment is that you definitely want to do all your creams first before you use this powder. Do not do your cream blush, your cream highlight, anything cream after using this powder, because it does patch and stick weird, and it just doesn't blend well with that powder. But what do you guys think so far? Here, let me turn the lights down actually. So lights are turned down, so hopefully you can kind of see things a little bit better. There's definitely, like I said, a hole in my nose, and it grabbed weird pretty much everywhere I put this stick. And I don't have no problem with this over other powders, so keep that in mind. But let's turn the lights back up and get into the eyeshadow. Okay, so I'm gonna prime my eyes real quick with the Urban Decay Primer Potion. Just a little bit of it covers pretty much the whole eye area. And there's already concealer on there too that it's mixing with to kind of like cover any pigmentation in my eyes. But this is the palette I chose, the Sunlit palette, because you don't need 3 of them. It looks like this. And these are the shades. I'm sure I've already showed them to you. And they have recommendations on how to do looks. But honestly, I'm just gonna try and use as many of the shades as possible. So, first of all, I don't like this. I don't like shades like this at all. I have almost no use for them. So I'm gonna go straight into Mahogany number 6. And there is quite a bit of pickup. I'm just gonna tap that on the outer corner. Oh, I've got fallout in the cream highlight too. Wonderful. Before I blend that out or anything, I am going to go in with Sun Warmed number 2 right here. And I haven't even swatched these yet. You've probably already seen the swatches from the beginning of my video, but when I'm using these, I have not even swatched them yet. So I'm just putting it on the outer portion, outer middle portion of the lid. And then I'm going to take Antiqued right here on a flat shader brush again, and just layer that over. It looked more green online. I will say, like, this is not the green I was expecting. So, and then I'm gonna take Golden Hour, this gold in the very inner corner. And then just take it all the way out. And now I'm going to take a blending brush and sort of blend all of that together. This was kind of inspired by that TikTok trend where you do stripes of color, but I'm doing it my own kind of way. So to bring the green out in the look, I'm gonna go in with LA Girl's Gotcha on the waterline. Okay, so I have the green on the lower lash line. Now I'm going to go in with a flat, well, this is a brow brush, but just any flat brush, whether it's angled or not. And I'm gonna go in with Mahogany on the outer corner and just get that really close on the outer third. These eyeshadows are going on top of that powder really nice. Okay, and then I'm going to take and kind of copy what we did on top. So I'm gonna take Sunwarmed, the red color, just a little bit right there. Then take Antiqued, the greenish color on the inner third. Okay, that one's not going on top of the powder very well. And then I'm gonna take the gold on the inner corner. I need a different brush to try and get Antiqued down. Just took a smudger brush. I'm going to take a mixture of Sandy and Golden Hour and put that on the brow bone to sort of lighten it up because it is kind of a dark gold. And then I am going to take Sandy again on that blending brush and just really soften all the edges of everything. And then I'm gonna take Bronzed, this one right here, on that blending brush and just blend out underneath the lower lash line to give it a little bit more of a smoky effect. Alright, this is the finished look. I added a bronze wing with the So Fierce Chrome Ink by Revlon in Bronze Age, and I just put on some mascara. This is the Grande Conditioning Peptide Mascara, and I threw on a lipstick. This is the Dulce de Leche Grande lipstick. And yeah, what do you guys think of the finished look? I think the shimmers are a little too subtle for my taste. All of these shimmers came off a bit more satin on the eyes. They did, like, all the colors blended well. I think it's a very pretty, like, grungy look that I came up with. But I feel for such a shimmer heavy palette, I'm really disappointed with like how soft and subtle the shimmers are. If this is what you're looking for, if you're looking for a neutral palette with soft, subtle shimmers that isn't too in your face, this might be for you, but I don't think I'll be picking up the other two after trying this one out. As far as the powder first impressions go, I don't love how stuff like this cream blends on top of it and how it takes out chunks, and I also don't like how I feel like it makes my face look cakier and heavier. Like as I'm wearing this, I feel like it looks more heavy and like cake face. I'll have to play around with this. I like it for under the eyes. I don't like that it darkened my under eye. But I'd have to say I prefer the original loose mineral veil to this so far. So those are my thoughts. What are your guys' thoughts on these products? I'd love to hear them down below. Are you picking up any of these palettes? Are you picking up the powders? Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button if you have not already, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!